alive. They're alive. Philly sports, they're alive. The Phillies, the Eagles, the Union, the Sixers even, they're alive. Trending in the AM starts in 30 seconds.
Holding, gets around in front. Joel Embiid, and Philadelphia has it.
And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM on DSM Media Live, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. You know the drill. Like, share, retweet, follow on all social media platforms. We'd greatly appreciate that. If you want to get interactive with the show, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button on the DSM Media YouTube page. We also have a fantastic subscriber threshold contest running on the DSM Media YouTube page. So make sure you check that out. Get the subscribes up there. We're creeping up there. We're getting there. We're getting there. And as I said, we're alive. Philadelphia sports is alive. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody. It's also Overreaction Monday. You all know I love Overreaction Monday. And I got some overreactions to talk about today because, yeah, the Phillies are in the World Series and they're coming home 1-1. There's a lot happening in Philly sports. The Eagles romp. I'll use the word romp over their in-state rival Steelers. Get to 7-0. No surprise there whatsoever, in my opinion. The Union took care of business last night. They are now in the MLS Cup Finals, or the MLS Cup, whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called exactly, but they're in it, so that's good. The Sixers even won a couple games this weekend. Everything rolling in Philadelphia sports right now. So we almost got the score right, 38-13. Yeah, you're close. You're close. Yeah, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, though, Kyle. Just so you know. We're gonna start Phillies, then we're gonna move on to the Eagles. So let's start right there with our Philadelphia Phillies. And my first Overreaction Monday statement. Watch out, guys. Overreaction Monday statement number 1: the Phillies will not win the World Series, and they have one person to blame. Nick Castellanos. You want to hear how this one's going to play out? Listen, we're going to break down game 1. We're going to break down game 2. We're going to preview game 3 here in a second. But something stuck out to me at the end of game 1. I just knew. And again, this is Overreaction Monday. And anyone new to the show or the channel, I like to overreact a little bit on Mondays. Something stuck out to me at the end of game 1. And when Nick Castellanos made that sliding catch again, sprawled out all over the turf, whatever, they lifted up his shirt and signaled to the Astros, yo, we ain't cheating. We don't need to cheat. That is the kind of thing other teams do to Philadelphia teams that then we use as motivation to kick their asses. And we just used it on the Astros. I'm telling you, the Astros saw that. I've talked about it last week, that this series was the team of destiny, the Phillies, versus the team of validation and redemption of the Astros. They need to validate themselves. They need to validate how good they are. And this is one of those moments when Nick Castellanos is, rub it in their faces or whatever. That right there is one of those things that could turn the tide of a series. Let me tell you, they came out in game 2, a ball of fire. So if we lose this World Series, I am putting the blame not on Nick Castellanos' bat, but Nick Castellanos showing off that he had nothing cheating going on underneath. Now we got some cheating to talk about for Tuesday from game 2. We'll get to that in a second, but let's talk about that game 1. So, we're going to talk game 1, game 2, and kind of just mold the two of them together as we're talking here. Game 1, the Phillies won 6-5. Game 2, they lost 5-2. In game 1 and in game 2, both our starting pitchers, Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler, both did not have good stuff. Aaron Nola just got hit around, like no big deal. Zach Wheeler, I don't believe is healthy. Zach Wheeler is probably injured. That knee, the drop in velocity, a little bit of everything there, the shoulder tiredness from earlier in the season. He just did not look right in game 2 at all. Aaron Nola just got hit around. Aaron Nola just had a bad game against, a real let's be honest. All joking aside, the Astros are a really uber talented team. They're really damn good. But so Aaron Nola just got hit, you know what I mean? But in game 2, Zach Wheeler, on the other hand, he just didn't look like he had. I don't think I saw one fastball over 96, and he's a guy that fires 97, 98, sometimes 99 up there. Never got close to that on his game on Saturday. Game 1, though, that was the team. That was the Phillies team that we've seen all year. They never give up. They're never out of it type game. They go down 5-0, and then they just battle their way back again. Castellanos drives in a couple runs, or drives in a run. Bone, with a double to drive in 2 runs. Real Muto. I mean, if Real Muto hasn't cemented himself as the best catcher in baseball, then I don't know what else he has to do, because he hit game tying hit and game winning home run. Let me tell you something. That home run, that was that was moment legends are built in the 10th inning. Game goes extra innings, and he gets that big home run. Damn, Oppo Boppo for a game winning home run in the World Series. Man, the bullpen did their job. I mean, Aaron Nola doesn't even get through 5 innings. Alvarado, oh my God, when Rob Thompson brings in Alvarado in the 5th inning, I was like, what the hell is he doing? Because now you're gonna be screwed. But he uses his guys in the high leverage situations whenever he thinks it's the most high leverage. Almost like, to my mind, like the way he managed the bullpen in game 1. That's kind of like the new modern way of managing a bullpen. It kind of renders the save statistic a little useless, in my opinion, because Alvarado would deserve, in my opinion, a save for coming into that 5th inning, shutting the door, and then getting into the 6th inning to start it off. To me, that's worthy of a save, because he saved the game at that moment. Excuse me. Alvarado, Eflin, using Ranger Suarez to get 2 outs. That would have been the 6th, 7th, the 8th inning. Using Ranger Suarez in game 1. That's playing the game to win, not worrying about tomorrow. Got to win today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Dominguez comes in again, gets more than 1 inning's worth of outs. When David Robertson comes into the 10th, and whew, tell me you didn't think he was blowing that right there. But, everybody talked that Robertson, the announcers, John Smoltz and the other guy's name, he talked about him as like this like Nick Nelson level reliever. David Robertson, damn good reliever. It was just the injury, in the first round of the playoffs that kind of changed our opinion on him. But we brought him in here with a lot of fanfare again, and he pitched really well down the stretch before getting hurt. So I don't know where's all these announcers talking about David Robertson not being this elite guy. He closed a lot of games this year, a lot of games in his career. He's been in big moments before. So I don't get that aspect of it. But the bullpen did their job, going 4 2/3 innings without giving up a single run. They gave up 4 hits, 2 walks, 4 hits and 2 walks in 4 2/3 innings. I take that every day and Sunday. I mean, excellent job. But it came down to David Robertson putting people on base, keeping us on the edge of our seat. Nick Castellanos having to make that huge diving grab. Second big defensive play he's made in the postseason to save a game. And he's all sprawled out, and he's got to do that little shirt thing and that little taunt towards the Astros. And yes, the Astros are cheaters. We all know the whole 17 scandal. I don't want to get into the details of that. But that kind of rubbed it in their faces. And they're trying to validate their legacies, these Astros. Trying to get Dusty Baker, and that piece that they did on Dusty Baker before game 2. I mean, how can you not love Dusty Baker? He's just a baseball legend. Never won a World Series. Look, baseball, the Major League Baseball and Major League Baseball on Fox want the Astros to win. And you could tell in their tones. You could tell in their pieces they're doing in the pregame shows. You could tell across the board that they want the Astros to win, because they want the validation. They want to prove that the cheating wasn't, the reason why they won that World Series back in 2017. There's a lot that's going into it. It's a really deep and heavy conversation. But Nick Castellanos rubbing it in their faces, in my opinion, turned the series, flipped the little switch. They got blood on their, they got red in their eyes, the Astros. Not just because it's Red October and not because it's the Phillies. They got red in their eyes because they want to whoop up on the Phillies. Now, this series is not going to end in 5, one way or the other. It's going to go 6, it's going to go 7, something like that. But I think that lit a little spark more than the Astros already had. Because then in game 2, they come out and jump all over Zach Wheeler. I mean, there's not much we could say about it. Zach Wheeler didn't have his stuff. He got through 5. He battled there to get through 5. Bullpen did their job again. Shut the door again. Bellotti, Brogdon in hand, 3 guys that nobody even wants on the playoff roster. Because you don't need any, you don't need them. But they did their job. They came in. Bellotti, the announcers gave Bellotti a little hype, a little talk, about how good he's turned his season around. The Phillies offense just didn't have it against Valdez. They just didn't. And then Presley comes in, shuts the door in the 9th. I mean, that bullpen is wicked good there for Houston. But I need to address 2 cheating things with this Houston Astros team. Excuse me. 2 things. Sorry, I'm almost over this cold. I will almost sound normal the next day or 2. Guaranteed. I'm getting so close to being over it. The cheating. Nick Castellanos rubs it in. Maybe that lights a spark, but we know the Astros are cheaters. That is who they are. I mean, I'm not making this up. They were proven to have cheated in 2017. Whatever. They announce in the 2nd or 3rd, maybe it was the 1st inning even, because, they got quite a few batters to the plate in the 1st inning, that Maldonado, their catcher, one of the best defensive catchers outside of JT Realmuto, had his bat taken away because it was an illegal bat that was given to him by Albert Pujols. And then they called the next pitch. They dropped this little nugget out of nowhere. Maldonado had his bat taken away because he was using an illegal bat in game 1. And there's a called strike 2 on the outside corner. Hold on, what? We'll get to the Valdez and the rubbing of this and this and this in a second. Maldonado had an RBI in game 1. What if that was the game-winning RBI in game 1? They literally dropped that little nugget and then just moved right on from it. First off, backtrack. How was Albert Pujols using an illegal bat all this time? And it was grandfather. How can you grandfather a bat that's illegal to a baseball player? That made no sense to me whatsoever. But they made it seem like a human interest piece that Maldonado was using a bat, but it was Albert Pujols and this and that, blah blah blah. The guy was using an illegal bat. How is he not suspended for that? Now he's an out almost every time at the plate. That's fine. He's a great defensive catcher, calls good games. Fine. I don't care. To me, that just is another tick on why Major League Baseball wants these Astros to win so bad. Dude, I'm telling you, almost any player gets caught using an illegal bat, they're getting ejected or suspended or fined or something. Not just like he used an illegal bat and there's the next strike on the next pitch. And we're moving on from that story, right like that. It's a load of bogus hocus pocus. I mean, I just don't understand how baseball can get away or let them get away with that. You would think being the Astros and everything that we've gone through with the Astros already, they'd be harsher and quicker and swifter in making a punishment there. That's a load of bogus right there. And I'm going to talk Valdez in a second here, but this annoys me and pisses me off more than the substances that were potentially on, what's his name, Frambler? Is that his? I don't even know how to say his name. Frambler, Valdez. I mean, let's be honest. That guy was rubbing his hands, rubbing his forehead, going like this, taking his glove off, doing this again, changing gloves, changing cleats. The guy's a filthy pitcher. We know that. I mean, he's really good. And the stories on him and late start to his career, etc. Great stories. Maybe bring up a point. We'll talk about it in the offseason how The Phillies never seem to find those gems in the rough in the Dominican and South American stuff like that. I mean, yeah, Sir Anthony maybe, but Ranger Suarez maybe, but it makes me think that they're working and they're adjusting their scouting department down in the South there. But I'd like to see more come out of it from the Phillies. But this guy was clearly doctoring the ball up. I mean, that ball was moving everywhere. That's fine. He does that. That's fine. But when the umps just go, that's it. They barely touched the guy's hand. When he came out of that last play, I don't think he came out of the game at that point, but it was his last full inning. And as he's walking off the field from first base towards the direction of the umpire, where the umpire was going to check his hands, you literally see him wiping it multiple times on his pants and his shirt. And like this, he literally is cleaning his hand and then hands his hand to the umpire. Was he cheating? I don't know. You ask Rob Thompson after the game about it. Rob Thompson's like, well, the umps check, so I'm sure they would have found some. No, cause a stink about it. This is the Houston Astros we're talking about here, a team that is involved in one of the biggest cheating scandals in the history of baseball. And you're not going to call them out on potentially cheating? The changing of the glove, the wipe, the moving the glove and wiping the wrist and then the ball every single time a new ball's in play. Something was fishy there. Something was mad. And we don't hear not a dime. Not a dime out of baseball. Not a dime out of the announcers. It's just us fans on social media causing a stink. Now, did it play that much of a factor? I don't know. In the results of the game, I think the Astros were going to win that game no matter what. But the fact that nothing's being done about it, nobody's talking about it on the national stage. Now, when I get to work today, I'll turn SportsCenter on or Get Up or First Take or whatever show's on, and we'll see if they're covering it or talking about it. But I doubt it. I don't think they're going to be talking about it because so many people want to see the Astros validate that legacy, validate that they're a great team, that they're going to turn a blind eye to anything. And something like Valdez there's no way now, 2 days later, to really get any proof. There just isn't. You had to catch him on the spot. They didn't. I mean, literally, wiping his hand excessively after every inning so that when he gets checked. And look, you've seen the gif where the guy pats down a person going into a stadium and he doesn't even touch the guy. I mean, that's really what the umps are doing to these pitchers. They're literally, you're good. You're good. You're not actually checking their hands. You're just, yeah, you're good. But blows my mind. What the hell is going on here, baseball? You have a team, there's known cheaters on it. And you're not checking them for things that clearly, it doesn't take it's not hard to see. I'm not a blind man here. And again, that's not even the worst of it. The bat, the illegal bat. It breaks my heart that they did nothing about the broken bat or the illegal bat. Just, yeah, it's all good. Could you imagine what social media would be like and what the Phillies fans would be saying if that illegal bat, if Maldonado's RBI turned the tides? I hope nobody hears an echo. I don't know. I'm hearing a little bit of my headset broke, so I got a backup headset in here. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it's all good. Hopefully the sound's coming through clearly. I don't get it. I don't get it. If that was somebody else in another situation, maybe if not the Yankees. Major League Baseball did nothing. Absolutely. Is there a baseball player on this planet that you want to punch more than Jose Altuve? I mean, let's just be honest for a second. Jose Altuve, I mean, the ringleader of the Astros cheating scandal, got nothing done to him. And he's out there, and he is just the most arrogant, obnoxious baseball player there is. And when he swings a bat, and John Smoltz, and they're drooling all over him and his swing and how great it is because of the way he has to, jump at the ball. I never see Jose Altuve swing a baseball bat again. I will be a happy person. I know I'm going to see him swing it a bunch more tonight, tomorrow night, game 5, game 6, maybe game 7. I know that. But Jose Altuve, to me, one of the most obnoxious baseball players there is. And all this cheating, all this going on. And the Phillies still could have won game 2 on Saturday. Now, my Overreaction Monday statement, again, anybody tuning in now, Overreaction statement Monday is, because of Nick Castellanos' taunting after his big catch in game 1, we are not winning this World Series. That's my Overreaction statement. But we could be up 2-0. And what did I say leading into the World Series? Rob Thompson, don't overmanage this World Series. 2 decisions he made in game 2. They're not the only things that cost him, but they did cost us. And that's using Sosa at shortstop over Bryson Stott. That's using Veerling in center field over Brandon Marsh. Both 2 big blunders. I know everybody's going to blame Rhys Hoskins. And I went to bat for Rhys Hoskins on Saturday night. Sosa made a bad throw. Yes, Hoskins could have scooped that out of the ground. But why is that Hoskins' fault? Sosa made a bad throw. He's an automatic out at the plate. Bryson Stott pinch hits later in the game. Has the best at bat of the game amongst all Philly when he draws that walk. That was a big mistake. Big mistake. Marsh should have been starting in center field. Matt Veerling, bad throw. Matt Veerling doesn't do anything special. Not at all. Stop hating. Hey, it's Overreaction Monday, Mark. That's just my overreaction at this point. That taunting them was a bad decision. Nick Castellanos taunting them. Bad decision. But Rob Thompson overmanages sometimes. He tries to outthink himself sometimes. He made a very poor throw to a below average. Yeah, I mean, he's had some big hits, though. And you can't do anything about Hoskins at this point. You can't. There's nothing you can do about Rhys Hoskins at this point. He's there for better or worse, whether this goes 5, 6, 7, Phillies win, Phillies lose, whatever. Bryson Stott puts a better throw on him, probably. He's fresher. He's out there. He's got the confidence. I still don't get the over-analyzing the lefty-lefty situation with Bryson Stott and Brandon Marsh. Bryson Stott has a very good OPS against lefties since his demotion and callback up from the minors. So if you take out that first month where he was just atrocious against everybody, he's very good against lefties for a young left-handed hitter in baseball. No need to overmanage there. Brandon Marsh, I think, is a finalist for Gold Glove in center field in the American League from his time with the Angels. You're putting Matt Veerling out there? Come on. Matt Veerling does nothing at the plate against a lefty that Brandon Marsh can't. Yes, so we're going to preview Game 3 here in a second. And yes, Houston has no idea what they're walking into, but I don't know. I'm getting an eerie feeling. It's Halloween. It's eerie. It's going to be miserable out there. So let's get to Game 3 here tonight. Game 3, Noah Syndergaard on the mound against Lance McCullers. Now, my man Jason tweeted out yesterday, I believe it was. Let me see if I can find the tweet here. Noah Syndergaard's stats against the Astros from earlier this year. Noah Syndergaard has pitched well against the Houston Astros. Let's see here. 1 outing this year. He went 5 1/3, 2 hits, 1 strikeout, 2 walks. Gave up no runs. His next outing, 4 innings, 3 runs, 3 strikeouts. So he's got 2 decent outings. 1 really good and 1 decent outing is what we'll say against the Astros this year. But to Mark's point, they have no idea what they're walking into here in Philly. This is a night. If you want to turn the tide, you want to prove my overreaction statement incorrect. This night is a night where the fans need to show up. They're going to show up. Obviously, they're going to sell out. It's going to be packed. But they've got to be on their A++ game. The chants, the cheering, the booing, the noise. It's got to be on point tonight. It's got to be the best. I mean, that guy that's could hear the crowd cheering in the playoffs a couple rounds ago, 2 blocks away in the street. Dude, I want to be able to hear it out here in Chester County. That's how loud they need to be. They need to rattle. Every time Jose Altuve steps up to the plate, I need every Phillies fan booing or chanting cheater or chanting something, banging drums, whatever it may be. They need to be out in full 110% effect tonight. Because Noah Syndergaard against Lance McCullers, guys, on paper, it favors the Houston Astros. The Houston Astros bullpen still is better than the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen. Can Noah Syndergaard get through 5 innings tonight? He hasn't lately. I don't know. I don't want to see 3 innings from Noah Syndergaard tonight, and then 6 innings from our bullpen. That's scary to me. It's really, really, really coming down to the crowd tonight, and this whole entire 3 games at home. That's why this series is not over in 5. There's no way. I thought about comparing this series to the Sixers-Lakers 2001 championships in the NBA, and how we got game 1 against the David. We were the David, they're the Goliath. We got game 1. You had the moment stepping over Ty Lue. That would be JT Realmuto's big home run in the 10th inning. You could see the similarities there. And then then the Lakers just came back and stomped the Sixers the next 4 games. This Phillies team is probably not going to lose 4 games in a row. But guys, this team has had multiple very long losing streaks this season. So don't be surprised if it happens. It's not going to happen. I'm hoping it's not going to happen. But the next 2 games, because we got Noah Syndergaard, we got Ranger Suarez going tomorrow, favors on paper the Houston Astros. And if the Houston Astros take game 3 and game 4, maybe the Phillies have some life, win game 5, whatever. But this series is over in 6. The fans. It's coming down to the fans. They absolutely need to help the Phillies get them over the hump offensively, and they need to rattle the cages of the Houston Astros more than ever before. Ever before. Tonight is the Phillies' advantage. This is our bullpen game, and McCullers is expected to pitch as a normal starter. If there's a rain delay, yeah. The weather is going to be icky. Is that a word? I don't know. Icky, sticky, weird, off. There might be a rain delay. It's going to be wet. It's going to be wild. But we really, 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 really need the fans to influence the outcome of this game. I can't stress that enough. The Astros are a better team. The better team doesn't always win. The Phillies fans need to up it. I'm still going to stick to my overreaction statement that this is, in my mind, this is how the rest of this series. My gut feeling on this overreaction Monday. We're going to lose tonight. We're going to lose tomorrow night. Aaron Nola's going to come out in game 5, pitch a gem, keep our season alive. And then, unfortunately, game 6 back in Houston, it's over. Zach Wheeler. I think Zach Wheeler's done for the season, basically. Like, he's not done. He's going to pitch. But I think he's spent. I don't think he's got anything left in the tank. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is just an overreaction Monday gut feeling. It's Halloween. I'm feeling a little. I just don't have the positive vibes rolling through me like I should at this point. I just don't have the confidence in our pitching. Noah Syndergaard and Ranger Suarez, game 3 and 4. Guys, that's scary. It's scarier than anything on TV. I don't even know what we were watching last night on TV. Some scary thing on Netflix, some miniseries, cabinet something, or chest of something, and it was freaky and weird. This is scarier. I am out of my mind. I don't need a Snickers to calm down. I need some sleep. I have not slept much lately with this cold, with the dogs, with the World Series, with the football, with everything. I have not slept. So I do need a nap. I'm getting a little cranky. I'm getting a little curmudgeon. But that's what you've been on plenty of Overreaction Monday shows, Mark. You know how I am. We are going to take a quick pause in the action here real quick. Today's show is brought to you by Gents Barber Lounge. Check out one of 2 great locations in Fishtown and Old City and book your appointment today. Gents owns the craft and it shows, raised the #1 barbershop on Yelp in the Philadelphia area. multiple award-winning barbers, and being able to handle any style cut, adult or kid. Check out this quick commercial. All right, we're back here trending in the AM on DSM Media. We're live across all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Like, share, retweet, follow on all platforms. But make sure you do me a favor, head over to the DSM Media YouTube page and hit the subscribe button. We are running an awesome promo here on the YouTube page, and I'm going to put up a shared screen here. Check this out. If we, by the end of this World Series, if we get to 800 subscribers, we're at 675 subscribers. If we get to 800 by the end of the World Series, we are going to give away a Bryce Harper World Series patch jersey. That's a massive prize. By November 27th, if we get to 1,000 subscribers, about a month away, we are going to give away 2 Eagles tickets. By that same date, the 27th, if it's 1,500 subscribers, they're going to be lower level tickets. We're poor people, so we got to set these goals to lower level. If we get to, this is the bold goal, in a month, November 27th, if we're at 2,000 subscribers, we're giving away 2 sweet tickets and parking passes, everything, the whole shebang. So make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button there over on the DSM Media YouTube page. There's a video outlining all those things over there. Make sure you check it out. But guys, I just don't feel it with the Phillies. I'm sorry. Overreaction statement though, number 2. It's time to transition to the Philadelphia Eagles. By the way, real quick, again, like I said, I think the Phillies lose tonight. I'm going to say the Phillies lose tonight 8-6. It's going to be a slop fest, a lot of runs, 8-6. Sorry, I just don't have the confidence today. But the Philadelphia Eagles, overreaction statement number 2, the Philadelphia Eagles will win, at a minimum, 14 games this year. 14 games, at least. Before the season kicked off, I outlined how they could get to 15 wins. I was just being sarcastic, having a good old time. It's not that far of a reach now when you're looking at the rest of the schedule and how they've played. The Eagles beat the Steelers last night 35-13. This NFL season right now, so much crappy football. Teams winning that shouldn't be winning, teams losing that shouldn't be losing. Who knows what's going on in the NFL? But there's one consistent, week in and week out. The Eagles are still the undefeated team. They're still the best team in football. Don't even give me the Bills. The Bills won yesterday against the Packers. 27-17, I think it was. They should have won 40-3 against the Packers. They gave up a boatload of rushing yards to the Packers yesterday. I don't even know if they lose to those. They might go 17-0 for all I know. The Giants looked beatable yesterday. Dallas looked pretty good, but it was the Bears. There's going to be one random game that we don't think we're going to lose, and that'll be what we lose. This upcoming week against Houston is not going to be an easy game. Not because Houston's a good team. I don't have the stats up. I'll have it up later in the week. But the record of the road team on Thursday night games is not very good. So it'll be a test. It won't be a total blowout or anything like that. But it'll be a test for the Eagles. So we won yesterday, 35-13. Smoked, romped, crushed, whatever adjective you want to use, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it didn't even feel that close. Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown for 3 touchdowns. Great. Just give him the Offensive Player of the Week award, A.J. Brown. I mean, that connection, their hookup, their link up on those deep plays. I mean, it looked like A.J. Brown was going up against some peewee football defensive backs. And Minkah Fitzpatrick, one of them, he's an all-pro type safety, cornerback, whatever he is. And he just made him look like a baby out there. Look, I was watching the beginning of that game, and I was like, there's just something missing. I tweeted out, I just don't see the Jazz. And as soon as I said that, a touchdown pass to A.J. Brown. Then, like, 2 drives later, I'm like, the Jazz still isn't there. And boom, another touchdown to A.J. Brown. It's like they were just toying with them. Like they weren't fully off the bye yet. and they just came out and they played decently. The Eagles are 7-0, and they haven't even played a complete game. They didn't even play that well on Sunday. The Steelers are just that bad. There's still things that they need to work on, the Eagles. So they're scratching the surface. They haven't even gotten to their full potential capability yet. And they're still 7-0. They win by 22, and they didn't even play a great game yesterday. That A.J. Brown to Jalen Hurts connection. Come playoff time, man. I'm telling you. It could have been 4 or 5 touchdowns. He dropped one. Then he had that big pass later in the game where he got tripped up by his ankles there from a trailing defender. Could have been it could have been over 200 yards. I think he had 100 and let me pull it up here. 156 receiving yards. It could have easily been 200 and 4 touchdowns. Zach Pascal got his first big touchdown. Devontae Smith, he was kind of quiet. He had 23 yards, but he also had like an 11-yard loss on a play. So, whatever. Dallas Goedert got involved with some good catches. The running game, they didn't run the ball a lot, but it was effective, averaging 5.6 yards a carry. Jalen Hurts, 19 of 28, 285, 4 touchdowns, and the big one again, no interceptions, no turnovers, nothing like that. To me, that's just, again, week in and week out, we are winning the turnover battle. We had the fumble recovery, the strip sack. We had the interception. Winning that turnover battle week in and week out. It's just so big, so huge. Look, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm trying not to get too hyped up over winning against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And when we win on Thursday night and we get to 8-0, I'm going to try not to get too hyped up because this is the Pittsburgh Steelers in Houston. I almost said the Houston Astros, Houston Texans. They're not good teams. But you can still find little glimpses of good and bad in these games. The biggest down I've got from yesterday is the loss of Jordan Davis. High ankle sprain is what they called it yesterday. Short turnaround. He will not be playing. He probably won't even go to Houston for that game. No need to put his big body out there, even on the plane with that high ankle sprain. But losing him, it was so great because I was so excited. He was my defensive player of the game prediction. And the first few drives when he's out there, he was being used in the 4 technique. He was being used, I think he had like close to 20 snaps, and he only played like a quarter and a half of football. His snap percentage at that point was probably close to 50%. He was getting in the backfield. He was being double teamed. He was opening up room for the other guys to get single teamed and get into the backfield. We had 6 sacks. I predicted 12 times that Kenny Pickett was going to be knocked on his back. He was hit and knocked down 11 times. Just close on that one. Really close. Jordan Davis had his best game, and he only played less than half of it. It's a big loss. It's a big, big, big loss. Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave had good games. They've been playing better. They're going to have to pick up the slack the next 3, 4, 5 weeks. They just are. Now, I have this concern with the Jordan Davis situation that him missing time, I'm just thinking of Joel Embiid, 7'2", 285 pounds, biggest guy, lumbers around. When he misses some time, his endurance gets a little off. We've been working Jordan Davis up to this point to get his endurance to be able to handle more snaps. Now he's going to miss 3 or 4 weeks because of an ankle sprain. When you have an ankle sprain, you can't work on your endurance. Maybe he can ride a bike. I don't know if there's a bike big enough for him. But then he's going to come out in 3, 4, 5 weeks. And he's going to be back to playing 18% of snaps, 20% of snaps because they have to work him back up again. Jordan Davis is going to be one of the best defensive linemen in football in the coming years. It's a big loss losing him. And you see it. And you see it in the box score from yesterday. 24 rushes for 144 yards. The Eagles defense doesn't give up 100-yard games, rushing games like that. Now, it was a combination. You had 21 yards or 11 from a wide receiver. You had 4 yards on the fake punt, which whatever. Najee Harris, man, still a bum. 8 for 32. Kenny Pickett rushed for 37 yards. He could do it. That Jalen Warren, he might be the best back there in Pittsburgh, honestly. He had 50 yards. He averaged 6 yards a carry. He had some big runs. So that's probably why. But that run defense definitely saw a drop off once Jordan Davis wasn't out there. But we were still able to win and in dominating fashion because Kenny Pickett's he's just not there yet. What we see from Kenny Pickett yesterday was well below what we saw from Jalen Hurts even in his first 4 games as an Eagle back when he took over for Carson Wentz. Which, can you believe Carson Wentz gets benched and now all of a sudden Washington's back to 500? My ref the district guys, Trev and Stoner, they got to be so happy right now. They're back to 4-4. Bench Carson, go 2-0. Just like, what? Is Carson that bad at this point? Probably. But when Jalen took over for Carson in 2020, he looked bad. He had some moments. There was no moments from Kenny Pickett yesterday. And they got talented wide receivers. I mean, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Pat Freiermuth. There were a couple Pittsburgh Steelers fans in that. I'm surprised how many Steelers fans made it to the link. A lot of moo, go. You heard it. You could definitely hear it. They were able to kick George Pickens to 0 catches yesterday. The defensive backs, again, fantastic game. Fantastic game from Darius Slay, James Bradbury, Avonte Maddox. I said it last week, and I said it on the Eagles pregame show. Not enough credit is given to the season that Avonte Maddox is having. Old man Al just somehow, I think he's got an opposable thumb because he seems to open the office door and make his way in here whenever he wants. He likes the window behind me here to look out. There's definitely not enough credit given to Avonte Maddox. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, tackle machine, a sack, an interception, another interception. I think it's his 4th on the year. The secondary played great. While Kenny Pickett is not a really good quarterback yet, may never be, he still does have 3-star wide receivers to throw to. Chase Claypool, man, has one big catch. He pushes forward, whatever. Dude, get that attitude out of here. Your team is 2-6 and terrible, going nowhere. And you're going to get one big catch and get all fired up and taunting and stuff? Whatever. Get that shit out of here. Get that soft, weak stuff out of here. Good morning, Scotty. I didn't think Kenny Pickett was going to make it through the game. I'm surprised they didn't pull him at some point. He was getting beat and battered. Also, it wasn't spot on. Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, my man. All these people with almost don't count, guys. I almost got the score right. That don't matter. You don't hear me saying that. I almost predicted how many times he was going to get knocked down. Almost doesn't count. They still won, though. And this team is geared up for a run like no other. So like I said, Overreaction Monday statement is, this team's going to win 14, maybe 15 games. I mean, I'm looking at their schedule. When are they going to lose? The Thursday night game in Houston, it's going to be tougher than people realize. Thursday nights on the road are just not easy. It's going to be one of those games where it's going to be a 21-17, 17-10 type game. Then we come home and have Washington on Monday Night Football. This schedule, I mean, they touched on it on the broadcast, but it's a tough, or it's a weird stretch. Not tough, weird. You get the bye, then you get your game. Then you have the short turnaround on Monday, or on Thursday, right away. And then you get that mini bye, but it's not just a mini bye, it's a mini extended bye because then our next game is on Monday Night Football. It's really weird. Bye week, Sunday, Thursday, Monday. Really weird stretch there. And that's going to be on Nick Sirianni to have these guys, staying motivated, staying focused, the focus and not losing their routine. Football players are routine oriented. And they're not going to be in a normal routine for a long stretch here. And you can see a letdown. I mean, home against Washington on Monday Night Football, Washington is trying to turn it around with Tyler Heineke. Terry McLaurin had a really good game. Antonio Gibson, if he doesn't get traded, is starting to get the ball a little bit more. But you got Houston, you got Washington. Both should be winnable games. The Colts have already packed it in. They went to Earling or whatever his name is. Somehow they still won. Or they didn't win. They kept it close because they lost to Washington. But they're nothing to worry about. The Packers are spent. They're burnt. Aaron Rodgers may not make it through the season. He's either going to go on IR and then retire at the end of the season, or he's just going to retire mid-season. They're done. This is Jordan Love's team coming up really, really soon here. Maybe the Eagles end it for Aaron Rodgers on Sunday Night Football. And then you got the Titans at home. I mean, they've already they got Malik Willis because Ryan Tannehill's hurt. You might as well just keep it. I mean, Malik Willis threw 10 passes yesterday. They still won. I mean, Derrick Henry rushed for over 200 yards. I'm hoping he's burned out by then. And then you got the Giants, the Bears, the Cowboys. The Saints are washed. I know they won. It's about time I stopped thinking that the Raiders are going to be a good football team. The Raiders stink. Derek Carr stinks. Devontae Adams regrets going there, and whoever their coach is, Mike McDaniel, I think he's the coach there, stinks. The Raiders stink, and I was wrong for predicting them to make the Super Bowl. The Eagles still might make the Super Bowl, but the Raiders ain't making the playoffs. I thought the AFC West was going to be the best division in football. You got the Chiefs still the class of it. The Chargers are hit or miss every week. The Broncos stink. The Raiders stink. That division is not the best division in football. So you just look down the schedule. Where are the question marks? Maybe the Titans game. Maybe the Giants on the road or the Cowboys on the road. There's maybe 3 losses on the schedule. Yeah, I mean, they haven't beaten anybody. But, I mean, the Cowboys are good. They beat them. The Cardinals were supposed to be great. They beat them. The Jaguars were supposed to be great. They beat them. The Vikings are the second best team in the NFC. Beat them. You can only beat the guys that are on your schedule. And the guys that they've beaten, some of them had hype coming into that week. We shut them down. You look at the Jags. We crushed them. They've fallen apart since then. The Cowboys, the Vikings are the only team that didn't completely fall apart after we beat them. Yeah, so I don't buy the narrative that they haven't beaten anybody. And I think it's a lazy narrative. It's just a narrative of people that don't want to give the Eagles any credit for what they've been able to accomplish. I mean, not only have they beaten teams, I mean, they're beating them pretty handily. I mean, they've only given up over 7. The Eagles' defense is not getting anywhere near the credit it deserves. I mean, outside of the 35 against the Vikings, and you give up 21 against the Jags. They've given up 7, 17, 17, and 13. I mean, they've got to be one of the lowest scoring defenses in football. They have to be. I mean, they're just shutting teams down. Yeah, 110%. 110%. I just don't get the narrative that they do that. But this team, I think it's funny because when you look at this schedule, the Cowboys the best defense. How many did the Cowboys give up yesterday? Did the Cowboys give up like 29 to Justin Fields and the Bears? Let me tell you something. The Eagles defense is not giving up 29 against the Bears. They're just not. Justin Fields is terrible. I know people like Justin Fields, but he's terrible. He is not an NFL quarterback. They may. Jordan Davis is a big loss, but they've got enough guys. Robert Quinn got into, I think he had 20 snaps yesterday. Saw him get into the backfield a little bit yesterday. Got after the quarterback a little bit yesterday. But he opened up a lot of 6 sacks. I mean, even Marlon Tupaloa even got in the action. Milton Williams got a sack yesterday. This Eagles defense may be the best defense in football. The Bills, the Bills last night gave up 105 million rushing yards to the Packers. When you knew you could have stacked the box last night against Buffalo or against Green Bay. They gave up 208 yards rushing last night. 31 carries. When was the last time that the Packers ran the ball more than passed the ball in a football game? Thank you, Mr. Statistician. They're 4th in the NFL at 16.9 points per game. I'm surprised there's 3 teams better than them at this point, honestly. Really surprised. But the defense is just so good. And the offense, I'm still saying it. The offense isn't clicking 110% yet. They still can be better. And that is why 14-15. I'm telling you, you talk about, Scotty, that they're not getting the respect they deserve. They're going to be like 10-0 or 13-1, whatever crazy number it's going to turn into being. And they're still not going to be getting the respect because looking ahead to the schedule, there's question marks on a lot of these teams. Who will be starting quarterback for the Titans? What's going on in Green Bay? Are the Giants we beat the Giants on the road? Well, the Giants really weren't that good, maybe. There's going to be a narrative constantly against this Eagles team. And you know what? That's fine. That's fine by me. You know why? Because this Eagles team loves that underdog narrative. They love to be the hated. They use it so well for the motivation. And they used it so well in 2017 under Doug Peterson, the underdog mentality. Let me tell you something. I don't know if Nick Sirianni is a better coach than Doug Peterson, but right now he is. And right now I can see Nick Sirianni using the outside noise even more. Like he's going to I bet you they have a bulletin board in that locker room, and Nick Sirianni changes it out with whatever the new narrative is anti-Eagles. He knows how to push the buttons of these players to motivate them. Just keep winning. Exactly. And this team is going to keep winning. Again, I don't want anybody to jump ship on this Eagles team on Thursday night when Houston Texans, they're going to push us, guys. They are. It's Thursday night football. It's on the road. It's a short turnaround. It was fantastic. I was thinking about it early in the third quarter. I'm like, I hope this game gets out of hand so that we can pull our starters. And it did. And a good 8-9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You saw Gardner Minshew out there, an entirely backup offensive line. Andre Dillard got out there. The trade deadline is tomorrow afternoon as well. Will the Eagles make any more moves? The Robert Quinn move was great. I know everybody wants a backup running back. I could care less about a backup running back. I'm telling you, we need to address special teams. Punt and kick returner. Britton Covey, at first I was willing to give him the chance. He's got to go. He's got to. Guy can't. He just can't do it. He's going to create a big turnover in a big moment of a game. And I have zero faith. Greg Ward's back. I'd rather have had Greg Ward back there. And there was one punt return where Devontae Smith went back there. I do not want to see Devontae Smith back there. So what moves would I make? Running back, safety, quarterback, tight end. So I already mentioned it before. I'm looking for depth pieces. I'm not going out and trading a third-round pick for Kareem Hunt or a first-round pick for Alvin Kamara. If you want to trade a seventh for a Cam Akers, a fourth guy, that's fine. I want a backup safety so Kayvon Wallace doesn't have to come out there. I want a backup cornerback so Zach McPherson isn't out there. And I know people disagreed with me, but the tight end, if something happens to Dallas Goedert has never played a full season. Everybody talks about Miles Sanders getting hurt and always missing 2 or 3 games. Dallas Goedert does the same thing. Dallas Goedert seems to get banged up. And let me tell you something. Dallas Goedert, as great as he is, and people like to hype up, Jack Stoll's blocking and Calcaterra, an upcoming rookie. You lose Dallas Goedert, you do not want Calcaterra as your starter. Not yet. Not on an undefeated team that's got playoff Super Bowl, aspirations. So a backup tight end that can catch the ball. I'm looking at depth pieces. I am not touching any of our first 4-round picks the next 2 years. If you can get somebody for a 5th or a 6th, sure. 7th, sure. Depth. This team needs depth. Special teams at punt and kick return. I just don't know what to do. If you can get Desmond King, we're going to see him. Well, the trade deadline's before the game, so maybe not. We're going down there. He could just slide his locker to the visiting. Mike Gesicki, is he even on the trade block? I could not imagine him being on the trade block, honestly. And he's going to cost you too much, probably. You're not going to get Gesicki for a 6th or 7th round pick. But man, Gesicki opposite Dallas Goedert, that would be back to having Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz type. 2 stellar tight ends. We'd be back to run that 12 personnel a lot again. If Desmond King can return punts and kicks, I'm all for Desmond King. Because Britton Covey is just not it. He was another one. So we always fall for the Paul Turner syndrome here in Philly. The guys that stand out in camp and we want them to make the team. Well, the team fell for the Paul Turner syndrome with Britton Covey. And yeah, he just shouldn't be. If Gesicki's on the trade block, it depends. Depends on the price. Mike Gesicki's a guy I've been waiting to break out for a really long time, and he just hasn't. He's had the last couple weeks, he's had a few touchdowns and a couple big catches. The guy just all-pro punt return in 2018. Okay. All right. That's good. I had brought up Cordell Patterson from the Falcons. Backup running back. He could be that 3rd, 4th running back, pounder. one of the greatest kick returners of all time. I don't know what his punt return stats are like. He's been on IR. He's supposed to come off of IR, I think this week or next week. So by the not Thursday night game, by the following Monday night football game, he should be back. He's a guy that I threw out there a couple weeks ago. I mean, the Falcons, they're winning football games. Again, the NFL is so freaking crazy. The Falcons are winning football games. The Falcons stink. Marcus Mariota is not a starting quarterback, yet they're still winning. And it's like the Falcons should be in sell mode, but the Falcons might have a chance at winning their division, which is insane. Let me look at these standings here real quick. Where are the Falcons? The Falcons are actually in first place in their division. That's what's insane. The NFL is asinine this year with where people are. It really is. It blows my mind where some of these teams are in the NFL. The Falcons should be in rebuild and trade mode, but yet they're 4-4 in first place in their division. Makes literally 0 sense to me. 0 sense. All right, real quick. I promised my man Brett on Twitter I would say one or two kind words. Doop, 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 doop. The Philadelphia Union are in the MLS Cup Finals. Hold on, don't I have a cheer? Yay, yay. I did watch a few minutes of the game last night. The match. It's a match, right? It's not a game, it's a match. On the pitch. They're the soccer terms that I practiced today. 3-1. I did watch a little bit of the game actually last night. I will say the Philadelphia Union team is a hell of a damn good team. And Jim Curtin, their coach, is maybe the best coach in Philadelphia, and people don't realize it. I mean, let's be honest. They went down. There was no score. They gave up a goal, and there was literally zero doubt. There was no panic. They were calm, collected. They got 2 quick goals right after the goal they gave up. Got them right back in the lead, and were able then to seal it up with a late goal. I think it was like in the 78th minute, 79th minute, to just lock it up. And this Philadelphia Union team is a team of destiny as well. And this Philadelphia Union team, I talk about the Phillies, team of destiny versus team of validation. This Union team feels like both a team of destiny and a team of validation because they should have won the cup last year, but COVID put them on the IR. They got kicked in the butt by COVID. Oh, he's a Villanova grad. Who cares about Villanova? Only you. That's an Overreaction Monday statement for you. Who cares about Villanova? Villanova and those mainliners think they're better than all of us. But this Philadelphia Union team is a team of destiny, and I will try to get Parcero back on the show Thursday or Friday to talk the championship game, the MLS Cup Finals, which will be, I believe, on Saturday. Whenever Game 7 of the World Series is scheduled, that's the same day as the MLS Cup Finals. So we'll try to get Parcero on later this week to preview that match. I don't even know if Austin or LA won. I know he said if it's Austin, it's here in Philly. If LA, it would be across there. And it would be a road game for Philadelphia. Great job by the Philadelphia Union, guys. Let's give them the love that they deserve. I know we're flying high with our Eagles being 7-0. I know we're flying high with the Phillies in the World Series, but show some love to those Philadelphia Union because they deserve it. They absolutely do. I didn't even get a chance to talk Sixers. They went 2-0, and I didn't watch but 30 seconds of the Sixers. I didn't. I'll try to do some research. We'll try to dive into some Sixers tomorrow on the show, and see what I could find about this Sixers team, about how they went 2-0, even though I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna wrap up Trending the AM right here on DSM Media again. Make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button on YouTube. Drop your comments because so LA won, so it is in LA on Saturday. Dude, that would be a hell of a Saturday. MLS Cup and World Series Game 7, if it got to that, that would be a crazy, crazy Saturday right there. And I got a Halloween party to go to on Saturday, so I won't even be working through it. 2 huge wins, but more important stuff going on right now. Exactly. That's what it is. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. Even if you drop in the comments and liking and subscribing on the replay, we still see it. It still helps the big picture of this channel and this show. Again, Bryce Harper jersey giveaway if we hit the 800 subscriber. 2 Eagles tickets if we get to 1,000 by November 27th. Make sure you do that. Tell a friend. Take this channel. Walk it around to every person you know and say, hit the subscribe button, guys. We greatly appreciate it. I am Phil Stifle. Overreaction Monday, 2 statements. 1, sorry guys, Phillies lose in 6 this World Series. Overreaction statement 2, the Eagles may be 14-0 before we know it. Everybody have a great Monday. Everybody have fun trick or treating. Be safe out there. If you're driving and you're not trick or treating, be safe. The roads will be packed with kids. Watch it. Be careful. Have fun. Enjoy. Overreaction statement number 3. And my wife will divorce me if she hears this. Halloween is the most overrated holiday there is. I hate Halloween. The only good thing about Halloween means Thanksgiving is almost here, which means Christmas is almost here. Everybody have a great Halloween. Happy Halloween. Go Phillies. Go Eagles. Phil Stifle out.